All right, people, it's time to wake up America. This is a special edition. We're coming to you based upon, let's see, the Democratic Party thinks they're going to impeach our president, which isn't going to happen. All based upon Ukraine.
Yep.
Go ahead. Yeah,
all based on Ukraine, about a phone call. But yeah, we showed you in a previous episode about, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden.
And now you can throw George Soros in there.
George Soros.
Mitt Romney.
Mitt Romney's coming. Yeah, we'll talk
Hillary
about
Clinton. I'm just giving you the names. You can throw Hillary Clinton in there, Adam Schiff, Barack Obama. And Bill Clinton.
It's pretty, it's a wild crowd strike,
Yep, so we're going to, 1, 2, 3, crowd strikes, you're out. And we're going to explain crowd strike to you, but let's give you a few other names. So not only is Adam Schiff involved in this, there's a whistleblower.
Pencil neck.
Yeah, Liddle, Liddle, Liddle. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
But the whistleblower we were talking about. So one interesting thing about the whistleblower is that his attorney.
Attorney for Trump, admin whistleblower, worked for Hillary Clinton and Chuck Schumer. Nancy Pelosi walked off the political cliff today and formally announced an impeachment inquiry into presidential Trump. The politics are very bad for the Democrats, and they will only get worse. With an election in a little more than a year, why not let the voters decide? And we ultimately will, because the Democrats do not have the votes to impeach in the Senate. If you think 20 GOP senators, many up for re-election in deep red states, will vote to impeach, you are dreaming. Pelosi didn't even make her caucus take a formal vote to open the impeachment inquiry. She doesn't have to, but it happened in the Nixon and Clinton impeachments. Basically, Pelosi is trying to have it both ways. She is shielding her moderates from a vote that will come back to haunt them while launching formal impeachment. Unless she is just doing this to embarrass Trump and has no intention to actually hold a vote. Her moderate members will be forced to walk the plank and vote to impeach. Congress is full of cowards who think about their careers first. So Pelosi may face a revolt before this is over. From The Federalist. The anonymous person who filed a formal, uncorroborated complaint against President Donald Trump for allegedly asking a foreign leader to investigate corruption related to Joe Biden now has a legal team that includes a Democratic operative who works for Senators Chuck Schumer, Democrat from New York, and Hillary Clinton, Democrat from New York. Andrew Buckeye, now a managing partner at the Compass Rose Legal Group, interned for Schumer in the spring of 2001 and for Clinton in the fall of the same year, according to Buckeye's LinkedIn page. More recently, Buckeye has worked as an official in the CIA and Pentagon and specializes in whistleblower and security clearances in his legal practice. Buckeye's anonymous client has filed complaint based on rumors accusing Trump of requesting that Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky investigate 2020 Democratic frontrunner and former Vice President Joe Biden and his son, Hunter, for their business dealings with the Ukrainian energy company. The Intelligence Inspector General decided the complaint is credible and urgent. But officials at the Department of National Intelligence say otherwise due to the lack of evidence undergirding the complaint and have refused to release it to Congress. The anonymous whistleblower has also admitted to not having first-hand knowledge of the conversations between the president and Zelensky. Regardless, House Democrats again demanded Trump's impeachment Tuesday, following the claims despite not reviewing the complaint or the transcripts of the conversation between the two world leaders. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat from California, who has been hesitant to join calls for impeachment, announced a formal impeachment inquiry into the president Tuesday evening. President Trump announced Tuesday afternoon that he has authorized the release of unredacted transcripts between himself and Zelensky.
The attorney for the whistleblower who doesn't want the whistleblower revealed like he has some type of status.
Was an attorney for one of my favorite senators.
Well, who would that be there?
Yeah. Chuck Schumer.
Yep, back in 2000, he worked for Chuck Schumer. In 2001, he worked for Hillary Clinton as an attorney. So that shows you where the attorney bias is. And the attorney bias is there, then the client that he's representing bias is personally there or probably there.
Look at the corruption. One big circle.
But now, but see, here's the important part. So Okay, so he doesn't want the whistleblower exposed, but this person doesn't actually have whistleblower status because he heard a conversation from two other people that heard the phone conversation of the president.
And who are those other two people?
Well, right, but see, if you and I have a conversation in our house and a pizza delivery guy comes in, can he leave here now and go be a whistleblower about a conversation that we're having about somebody else entirely?
No, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay.
Totally.
Now, who are the two people that were around the president that's having this confidential conversation around the whistleblower?
That's what we need to find out.
Right, so the plot thickens in that regard. So until we find that out, we're going to give you an update on this information.
The truth is plain to see. If you want freedom, take pride in your country. If you want democracy, hold on to your sovereignty. And if you want peace, love your nation. Wise leaders always put the good of their own people and their own country first. The future does not belong to globalists. The future belongs to patriots. The future belongs to sovereign and independent nations who protect their citizens, respect their neighbors, and honor the differences that make each country special and unique. It is why we in the United States have embarked on an exciting program of national renewal. In everything we do, we are focused on empowering the dreams and aspirations of our citizens. At the center of our vision for national renewal is an ambitious campaign to reform international trade. Our goal is simple. We want balanced trade that is both fair and reciprocal. As the United Kingdom makes preparations to exit the European Union, I have made clear that we stand ready to complete an exceptional new trade agreement with the UK that will bring tremendous benefits to both of our countries. We are working closely with Prime Minister Boris Johnson on a magnificent new trade deal.
Now, Mitt Romney. Well, someone in Mitt Romney's camp just happens to be involved with the gas company in Ukraine. Yeah, Burisma.
Yep.
Now, the thing about that is, so the Democrats had a nice little plan set up. Once I explain this to you thoroughly, because this is one of the things I remember I talked to you about off camera. So here's how Barack, Hillary, Mitt, all them playing it apart. So that gas line that ran through Russia, however it may be, Ukraine has a bunch of gas on their hands to sell. Well, who do you think might have profited from the sale of that gas? Might it have been Barack, Hillary, John Kerry,
Biden.
Mitt Romney, Joe Biden, his son? Not only did Hunter get a $50,000 a month job,
And didn't have any experience at all.
right, but it's quite possible that a lot of American diplomats benefited from that.
It's a vicious circle,
Yep.
you know. And Adam Schiff, I just, you know, your blatant lies on TV. I wanted to reach into the TV and just break your little pencil back.
Well, actually, it took Devin Nunes. See, that's probably why I can't say I could be a councilman or a congressman or a senator. Trust me, I have it in me. But if I was Devin Nunes sitting next to pencil neck, Liddle, Adam Schiff, hearing him spew that crap about our president, knowing that that's not what's on that paper. Even the mainstream media left out about 500 words from that summary that the president graciously provided. He could have said, I'm telling y'all shit, and said no, but he provided the transcript.
Because he had nothing to hide.
Right, but
And Adam Schiff puts words in his mouth. I mean,
and calls it a parody.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Schiff. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you.
I know that you work for investigation regarding Trump and Russian government.
Yes,
We know some important information about it.
and that is documented as well in materials you want to provide to us?
Yes, could I explain you where we are?
Yes, of course, but, you know, again, I would just caution that our Russian friends may be listening to the conversation, so I wouldn't share anything over the phone that you don't want them to hear.
No, I don't think that it will impact on our investigation.
Yes. Please go ahead then.
In November 2013, Mr. Trump visited Moscow. He visited competition Miss Universe, and there he met with Russian journalist and celebrity Ksenia Sobchak.
I'm sorry, can you explain that again? While he was in Moscow in November 2013, he met with a journalist
Well, she's a poor journalist, but anyway, she became famous because of Putin is her godfather.
Okay, Putin's godfather. Okay.
She also known as a person who provides girls for escort for oligarchs, and she met with Trump and she brought him one-hour Russian girl celebrity, Olga Buzova, who also known as a person with a strange reputation.
Olga, and how do you spell her name?
Olga Buzova.
Buzova. So
Yes.
Olga Buzova is a friend of the reporter Sobchak?
Yes, she's a friend of reporter and I think a special agent of Russian Secret Service, Ksenia Sobchak.
That Sobchak is or Olga is?
No, Sobchak is Ksenia.
Okay, and so Buzova met with Trump in New York at some point after the 2013 Miss Universe.
Yes, absolutely, and she got compromising materials on Trump after their short relations.
Okay, and what's the nature of the compromise?
Well, there were pictures of naked Trump.
Okay. And so Putin was made aware of the availability of the compromising material?
Yes, of course, Buzova shared those materials with Sobchak, and Sobchak shared those materials with Putin, because she's a goddaughter of Putin, and Putin decided to press on Trump.
And the materials that you can provide to the committee or to the FBI, would they corroborate this allegation?
Sure, of course. When they were in Ukraine, we got their conversation by the phone where they discussed those compromising materials. We are ready to provide it to FBI.
So you have recordings of both Sobchak and Buzova where they're discussing the compromising material on Mr. Trump?
Absolutely. And we also know who was a mediator between Trump and Russian government, who met with ex-advisor of Trump, Mr. Flynn. It was the Russian singer, very famous singer, Arkady Ukupnik, who met with Mr. Flynn on Brighton Beach in Brooklyn in a special Russian cafe, Langeron.
What's the name of the cafe?
Langeron.
Langeron?
Yes, it's on the Brighton Beach.
Okay. And
It's it's a Russian district in Brooklyn.
And do you know what was discussed?
They discussed many things, but the most interesting thing is they used a special password before their meetings. When they met each other, they said, "Weather is good on Deribasovsky."
Weather
It rains.
is good
Yeah.
in where?
Weather is good on Deribasovskaya. There is a name of a street in Odessa. Did you hear?
Yes, I did. So it's a street in Odessa?
Yes.
And the code word is weather is good on Deribasta?
Deribasovskaya.
Deribasovskaya. Okay. And I'll have my staff follow up to get spellings and more details on that.
Yes. And the second part of their password was it rains again on Brighton Beach.
It rains again on Brighton Beach.
Yes. On that meeting, Ukupnik told Flynn that all those compromising materials will never release if Trump will cancel all the Russian sanctions.
Okay. Well, obviously we would welcome a chance to get copies of those recordings. So we will try to work with the FBI to figure out, along with your staff, how we can obtain copies of those.
Of course, we will provide you all our copies of all our materials, but I also would like to let you know that Sobchak and Buzova will pretty soon visit our country, and we could read them and deliver them to your embassy, and we also could extradite them to your country, and you can put them to your special jail, Guantanamo.
Well, I'll be in touch with the FBI about this, and we'll make arrangements with your staff. I think it probably would be best to provide these materials to both our committee and to the FBI. so we'll make arrangements between my staff and yours on how to facilitate that. And we'll also obviously let the FBI know about use of and Sobchak's planned travel to Ukraine.
I also...
Yeah, I know. You know, it's just totally ridiculous how these Democrats are wasting their tax dollars. They're throwing, crap in front of the feet of our president, who's doing a great job. Why don't you just let him do a greater job?
So let me point out the importance of what Rick is saying to you in a breakdown. So this past February, when the president went to Vietnam to meet with the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, they put Michael Cohen on TV. Mm-hmm. Okay. When he was at the G7, they put Mueller on TV. Mm-hmm. And now he's at the UN, and they pulled this impeachment crap.
Yep.
Now, why is all this crap? Let me tell you a little interesting story. Rick, back in 2016, Donna Brazile was the head of the DNC. Mm-hmm. And she came on television with some other people and said,
as I stated repeatedly, that the Democratic Party was a victim of a cybercrime. And I don't peddle in what I call the illegal dumping of private emails in the public sphere that have been altered,
that the DNC server was hacked.
Yep.
They blamed Russia.
But it wasn't Russia, was it?
Well, no, not exactly. But here's the trick to the twist, or the twist to the trick. So the FBI came to get the server to investigate it. And what did the DNC, Donna Brazile, and Hillary tell the FBI? No. You can't. No. Now,
but somebody has it.
But yeah, but if the FBI came to your house, or my house,
and we told them no,
how would that go down, Rick?
We'd be in federal prison right now.
There might be a correctional officer walking by our cell on a daily basis.
Saying hi.
Is that what they do? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Not my department. So here's the gig, though. So that server that was hacked is in Ukraine with a company called CrowdStrike, which is basically the second sentence when the president said, could you do us a favor? Now the media is telling you the president said, do me a favor, but he didn't.
He said us, meaning U.S.
Yeah, exactly. If you put two dots between that us, he asked Ukraine to do the United States a favor. We've heard there's a lot of corruption going on, and we want to get to the bottom of the DNC server being hacked. Mm-hmm. I heard there's a company called CrowdStrike that has, or a rich person over there has this server.
And we need to find out who he is.
Right.
Or
now,
she is, for that matter.
Now, thanks to Bill Clinton, we gotta go back 21 years, but thanks to Bill Clinton, our president didn't do anything wrong. Because in 1998, Bill Clinton just happened to put this out. And it's an agreement where the United States and the Ukraine are going to work together to fight corruption in a legal status type way. Mm-hmm. So we're going to work together in a law enforcement way to fight corruption, signed by William J. Clinton back in 1998.
The most corrupt person on the planet.
But at the same time, it gave carte blanche to any president after him to work with the Ukraine. Now, how is that important with Barack Obama?
Well, Barack is behind that also.
Right. So now if you have Hillary as Secretary of State and her husband wrote this in 1998, don't you think Hillary knows that they could take advantage of the Ukraine? Don't you think Joe Biden would know that they could take advantage of the Ukraine?
And he did.
And Paul Manafort's involved, but on the flip side. So Paul Manafort's been involved with Ukraine for 20, 30 years, going back to the Reagan administration. He has all this information, and that's why he's in jail, because he wouldn't...
They made him the fall guy.
Right, but he wouldn't give up anything that would... there's nothing to incriminate the president. So the Democrats wanted him to come out and say his information in reverse to incriminate the president, and he wouldn't. So they put him in jail.
And just like Adam Schiff, spewing his lies, his parody about what the president and President Zelensky of Ukraine talked about. It's just a vicious circle, people.
Exactly. And part of the breaking news part also that you're not hearing, and this is another play on this. So they want to come on TV with the impeachment thing during the time that the president is with the UN. But if you didn't have this going on with the impeachment, you might have heard about Ed Buck, the people being arrested in Ohio on the sex trafficking, the Pennsylvania senator we showed you on the other show, the baseball. Now they talked about Antonio Brown in a civil suit for 2 or 3 weeks. But yet there's a baseball Pirates pitcher under arrest without bail for having sex with a 13-year-old.
Right.
Did you see that on CNN? Mm-hmm. These are some of the things that the mainstream media could be covering if they weren't fake news. They would tell you that Flynn's partner was exonerated. The judge dropped the case.
This just ain't no Liddle problem.
No, it's not us Liddle. He's talking Liddle as in Adam Schiff has a children's organization in California you can look up called Liddle Kids or Liddle Kids, Lidd.
ELL.
Yeah, like foundation. So look that up about Adam Schiff. Now, the big thing is Ed Buck, bail is denied. He's to stay in prison until his trial starts. Now, we showed you on previous episodes photos of Ed Buck with Adam Schiff, with Hillary Clinton, and he's donated over $100,000 over the course of 10 years or so to different organizations or Democratic groups, including Joe Biden.
To include that Buck was on the Electoral College in California.
Right, so now you have somebody running a drug den who's on the Electoral College who donated over $100,000 over the course of 10 years or so to the Democratic Party in a multitude of ways to many different candidates.
Who's calling out our president?
Who
What
was
a piece of shit you are, Adam Schiff.
Right, who was protected by Kamala Harris while she was a prosecutor in California. Now, I know we're giving a lot of stuff to you. You're seeing a lot of things on the screen, and I'm talking kind of fast, so I'm not even leave everything up on the screen as long as I would like to.
But you know, it's so funny how Senator Schumer, you keep popping up and everything. Now, you know, this attorney for this so-called whistleblower was
Worked for you.
Worked for you back in 2001, 2002.
Epstein's money went to you.
Yep. After you knew, don't tell me, Schumer, you didn't know the man served 2 years in jail for being a pedophile.
He has a $66 million house in Schumer's area of New York. Maybe not so much of his district, but it's in New York. I'm sure Schumer knows virtually everyone that has a $66 million home.
I'm sure he does.
How would you not? Those are the folks you want to know.
Yeah, and you know what, Schumer, when you get on TV and you start talking about our president,
it is simply antithetical to our constitutional democracy to use impeachment to overturn an election on partisan grounds.
I think it has traumatic impact on the confidence that the American people have in government.
The effect of impeachment is to overturn the popular will of the voters as expressed in a national election.
Their hatred of the president exceeds their caring about this country and its people.
It would trample upon the choice made by the people through the electoral process and do great harm.
The people elected the president. They still support him. We have no right to overturn the considered judgment of the American people.
But what the American people are saying loudly and clearly is let's get on with the business of the American people.
Impeachment of a president is an undoing of a national election.
It violates the independence of the presidency and it usurps the people's voice.
They are ripping asunder our votes. They are telling us that our votes don't count and that the election must be set aside.
Send a message through the ballot box. That's what we do in this democracy.
I'm concerned that if we don't impeach this president, he will get reelected.
you know, when you're such a shady son of a bitch, you know, I mean, it's coming around, you know.
Yeah, you're right. You know, here's an important point. So they want the president, they had him release the transcript, right, of the phone call.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we release the transcript of Obama's phone calls with Iran?
Oh yeah, with the $1.5 billion in cash.
No, $150 billion.
Geez, $150 billion.
Rick, we can't undersell that.
Yeah.
It took planes, crates, forklifts
of money
to Iran.
I would just like one of those crates.
Bring out that conversation. And while we're at it, Adam Schiff, I know you're head of the Intelligence Committee, but why don't we get your last 3 months of emails, text conversations, text, whatever you want, any information of yours over the last 3 months? Because apparently you've had this letter going back to August 12th and just held on to it.
We have not been presented with a complaint, so we don't know precisely what it has to say.
Adam Schiff's office essentially got an early readout of a general outline of the complaints that this whistleblower was going to make.
We have not spoken directly with the whistleblower.
Adam Schiff, the House Intelligence Chairman, got advance notice that the whistleblower had a complaint to make.
I don't know the identity of the whistleblower. Now
And they haven't contacted you, or their legal representation hasn't contacted you?
I don't want to get into any particulars.
The chairman of the committee knew about the outlines of the complaint before it came out publicly.
Couple questions here on this whistleblower front. First off, have you heard from the whistleblower? Do you want to hear from the whistleblower? What protections could you provide to the whistleblower? And then you also said that the DNI is refusing to turn over this stuff, citing a request from a higher authority. The insinuation left, at least for me and others, was that the president himself had intervened. Is that the insinuation you sought to provide? And if so, what basis do you have for making that insinuation?
We have not spoken directly with the whistleblower. We would like to, but I'm sure the whistleblower has concerns that he has not been advised, as the law requires, by the Inspector General or the Director of National Intelligence, just as to how he is to communicate with Congress.
The report that came out just before you and President Ninishita walked out here, that the whistleblower met with a staff member of Adam Schiff prior
I love that
to the complaint
question.
being filed.
It shows that Schiff is a fraud.
And
I love that question. Thank you, John.
So can I finish asking?
Yes, there's nothing to finish.
So the whistleblower, according to this report, met with a member of Adam Schiff's staff. You got it right there? You know it?
I hate to say it's the New York Times. I can't believe they wrote it.
Your response to the
Maybe
fact
they're
that-
getting better.
Your response to the fact that that happened and that Schiff may have learned some of what the whistleblower knew prior to the complaint.
Well, I think it's a scandal that he knew before. I go a step further. I think he probably helped write it. Okay? That's what the word is. And I think it's, I give a lot of respect for the New York Times for putting it out. Just happened as I'm walking up here, they handed it to me. And I said to Mike, I said, whoa, that's something. That's big stuff. That's a big story. He knew long before, and he helped write it too. It's a scam. It's a scam. Just to finish on this, I appreciate it. I love that second question, by the way. Should have asked it first. but let me just tell you, the whole thing is a scam. The Mueller deal was a scam. The Russian collusion was a scam. You can ask Putin. Nobody's been rougher on Russia than Donald Trump, okay? Now, with that being said, it would be great to get along with Russia, and we will get along with Russia because it's smart. But nobody's been tougher on Russia than Donald Trump.
Yeah, maybe there might be something about your Liddle organization.
Yeah, he might have a little problem.
Oh, yeah.
Between him, Ed Buck, California, what he has going on out
Epstein.
there. And he's had this letter since August 12th.
Mm-hmm.
They saved it for when the president was going to the UN.
You know what, Jazz? I really think that Trump is unraveling the pedophile ring across the world.
It wasn't sewn together very well, or he has a really good cutter because the threads are being pulled apart. And every place they think they can hide something, Ed Buck's office, Epstein's office, we'll hide it at the senator's office, we'll hide it in the Ukraine. Wait, you mean Trump was there? You mean Rudy Giuliani went there? He saw the server? He's holding up his phone with text messages from the Ukraine?
Yep.
It's unbelievable stuff, folks. That's why we're here to tell you about it.
If you got any, like liberal friends, tell them to, get off CNN and MSNBC, watch some Fox News.
And even still, Fox News. So if you heard Shep Smith, see, Shep Smith is in on it, Neil Cavuto in on the other side, because Shep might have actually been on that Lolita Express. So they all need that distraction. They want the president to go down. Now, to break it down like this, the president cannot be impeached this way. They haven't even actually served formal articles. This is an impeachment inquiry. So while the news is on TV saying, the president might be impeached.
There's no basis.
Okay, but Chris O'Donnell, piece of lark from MSNBC, came on after Rachel Maddow's grinning butt and said the president may be impeached by Christmas. Like that's a gift to somebody.
Yeah, just like they said that Hillary was going to win in a landslide. I mean, people, you got to realize that the liberal media, I mean, they are the enemy. They are the enemy, along with the DNC. And for somehow, I mean, we have a freedom of speech, but there is no freedom of lies.
Not at all.
New York Times just got busted for what they tried to pull on Kavanaugh again. And then you got the Washington Post, and you got, Chris Cuomo, and you got all these idiots.
Fredo! What up, Fredo Cuomo?
Yeah, Fredo.
Hey, are you sucking lemons?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All I want to know is, people, please, wake up. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Not just us. Check out some other shows. There's plenty of information out there, and this is all coming to a head. There's going to be a red October.
And it's funny, Jazz, that we've been beating up this Ukraine deal for the last couple of weeks, and giving some light on Epstein and his his colorful friends like good old Chucky there.
We can't forget your other boy, George Soros. He's in it. Not only is he involved with that young girl with the climate control thing.
Yeah, but he's, like we were saying, the handler, the 23-year-old, is getting directly paid by George Soros.
Right, and now the International Monetary Fund was also involved with that gas grab of money from the Ukraine I was telling you about. You know what I'm saying? So there's a whole web, and George Soros is connected in it, the Clintons, the Obamas.
They're the kingpins.
And you see I'm getting my hands out further and further, so you got John Kerry's involved in it, the Bidens, and Pelosi, the Mexican president, the former Mexican president, that kind of thing. Okay? So people, stay awake. This is Thejazmiles with Rick Donovan. We're going to play a little bit of something as we get out of here for you. We got to take care of some other things because the news is breaking fast and furiously. Rick, go back to special assignment duty. You brought a lot of great information with the IMF and a few other things going with Ukraine and George Soros and Chuck Schumer being involved in this in some capacity.
I'm not letting up on you, bro. You know, you want to bitch slap my president, man. Every chance I get to have any dirt on your ass, it's coming out.
And that's just it. If you people were more honest about yourselves, you wouldn't have time to throw stones at this man.
Correct.
Until next time.
Wake up, America!
That's right.
It's trying to undo the election, regardless of facts.
Well, we know it's not illegal. What crime was violated? Can you name one?
Attacking the president by any means necessary.
The entire whistleblower complaint is based on hearsay. This seems to me like a political setup.
Fabricating evidence. Adam Schiff, in the middle of a committee hearing, making crap up.
None of those things are in this transcript.
It's nothing short of a coup, and it must be stopped.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.